Hello, welcome back. We got another day at MLB DFS. I'll be going over the slate. Before I jump into that, let's do a little housekeeping here. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment to our videos. It really helps the algorithm get our videos out there and give you guys more free content. Anyways, without further ado, let's jump into today's slate. We'll go into the MLB projections. As always, we're going to head straight to the good old ownership. So, starting with pitching, Framber Valdez is coming in as the high-owned pitcher, and he should be. He's in a great spot. His strikeout line is pretty high versus Detroit, who isn't a great offense and strikes out a lot. So, I definitely do like Framber. Luis Castillo also coming in very high owned. He's also in a good spot. The one thing with him, though, is I don't think he has quite as high of a ceiling as Framber in this matchup. We know the Angels are good versus righties, so that definitely hurts Castillo's outlook slightly, but he is still, regardless, one of the better plays on this slate. Just keep that in mind here. Now, if we're looking for pivots off of the two highest, one of the guys that I am interested in is Andrew Heaney. The real thing here is he has a combined K rate of 34.5. The combined K rate is 33.3. His K rate is 34.5. He is a really good pitcher, has some really high upside, but can get rocked a little bit. So with that, there's some variance, volatility in his projection and in his outings, but he has a super high upside for his price, and that's the main thing here. So I think he is interesting. He is somebody that you can pair with one of the high-owned guys if you want. Another one is Jose Suarez, who I think this one's a little bit more risky. He's had a little trouble with Seattle. Seattle is a very good offense, as we know. They have gotten off to a little bit of a slow start, which does go into Suarez's favor here, but combined K rate of 25% at his low 7K salary, that's a pretty good spot. And we do know he's a decent pitcher, 3.82 FIP over the last 23% K rate. So I do like him. It is a pitcher friendly park. We also don't have to worry about weather here, which is nice because it's in a dome. So those are kind of the pitchers I like for DraftKings and the DraftKings ownership. Now we'll flip over to good old FanDuel. As no surprise, Framber Valdez, highest owned pitcher. Scherzer coming in next. Castillo, Bieber. Now, personally on FanDuel, I'm going to probably go with one of those guys. I wouldn't get too cute and go way down the list here. I think those guys are worth their price today. So if you don't want to go Framber, eat that chalk, which I totally understand. Castillo or Scherzer at half ownership absolutely makes sense and are very interesting. Bieber, I have a hard time getting to at that price. But you can make a case. He's versus a bad offense. He's a good pitcher. So that does make sense here as well. Now we'll go back to DraftKings for the stacks just because we can go to 5-man stacks there instead of 4. So it gives us a little more information to talk about for you guys. And the highest owned stack today is Toronto. To no surprise whatsoever, Toronto and the Royals have by far the best hitting weather. It's 80 degrees. The wind is blowing out pretty hard. So that's going to make people go that way and go to Toronto. As you can see, we have the highest owned stacks up right now. In fact, it is Toronto, 100%. Now, with this being a 11-game slate, 100% owned stack, I don't think is too much. They are the best, probably highest ceiling by quite a large margin. So I understand the ownership there. You may want to get different, though, especially if you're in a big GPP. And I think there's a lot of options you can go to. Our highest projected stack is actually Tampa Bay. I love Tampa Bay today. I think they're in a really good spot. I hit projected twice, so it started going the other way. But I think Tampa Bay is in a great spot. They've been a really good offense to start the year. They're going against Chad Kuhl, who isn't a very good pitcher. 6.55 ERA over his last 20, 5.82 FIP, 2.21 fantasy points per plate attempt. As we saw yesterday with Pittsburgh, that fantasy points to plate attempt number really does come in handy, and it did yesterday. And I think it will again with Tampa Bay. So I do really like that spot for them. There's also a lot of options you can go with them. The Braves make a little bit of sense. I think their matchup with Mats is somewhat difficult. Mats can be a sneaky spot, but I do really like this St. Louis stack as well, as this offense has been amazing lately. They're going against Dylan Dodd, who we don't know much about, and weather's also decent here as well, as this is one of the better hitting weather games in on the slate. Another low-owned stack that I really do like is the Kansas City Royals. We talked about the weather for Toronto. KC gets the same exact weather, so I think they are in a really good spot to just crush some of these prices as far as their price points for hitters. They have a ton of hitters in the 2Ks. So if you want to get two good pitchers in your DraftKings lineups like Framber and Castillo or Scherzer, you probably can do it with fitting in one of those Royal stacks. You're getting some of that weather bump as well. So I think they're a great spot. And if you look at our value tool for stacks, KC is just littered with the top with multiple different stacks there. So I think they're very interesting. Milwaukee's also in a decent spot here. Not for who they're going against, because they're going against Scherzer here. But this is one that I'd probably stay away from today. If Scherzer was the highest owned pitcher, I would maybe consider it just as a leverage option, but not with Scherzer not coming in the highest. So, yeah, and then more on that KC stack. It is going against Kikuchi. Kikuchi was pretty bad last year, but has been really good in spring. So it's we're not really sure what he's gonna bring. If he is like he was last year, and spring was just because he's against, partially minor league hitters, then Kikuchi's going to have a very bad day and KC stack will look good. And so that will do it for us today. I think we have covered everything we wanted to. Favorite pivot stacks, KC, Pittsburgh, and Texas. Favorite stacks, Tampa Bay and Toronto. Favorite pitchers, Framber, nice pivot option, Andrew Heaney. And that'll do it for us today. We will see you tomorrow. Thank you guys. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Bye.